This video is brought to you by Soundcore. The Soundcore Boom 3i is here and it's ready to bring your favorite music to life wherever you are. But is it actually worth that asking price? We have a lot to talk about in this video, so let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So first things first, this speaker is available in 4 different colors. You got black, you got blue, green, and brown. So 4 different options, whatever one is going to suit your taste personally. Now, beyond this, we have a solid plastic build, which is similar to Soundcore's other speakers like the Boom 2 and other previous models. Now, it is much smaller in size than the Boom 2 itself. It's actually closer in size to the JBL Flip series or the Sony Oldfield 1. Now that makes the Boom 3i very, very easy to carry. It's very lightweight, and you can pack it in a bag very, very easily as well. You could either hold it in your hand just like this, so just like that, or you can actually use the detachable strap so you can kind of put it over your shoulder if you want to run that way. Now, one of the best features of the Boom 3i, in my opinion, is its IP68 rating, which is dustproof and waterproof, and this can be submerged for up to 30 minutes in water down to approximately 5 feet or 1.5 meters. Now, this is also very, very important here. It's also salt water resistant. So it's stated to be 5 times more resistant than average speakers on the market. And it was lab tested to withstand 240 hours of salt spray. And it also features a protective coating to prevent corrosion for up to 2 years of exposure. So overall, really, really solid. Now, additionally to that, it's also drop resistant. So it's drop proof from a height of 1 meter or 3 feet onto concrete. So overall, I mean, this thing is built pretty tough. Now, another cool feature with the Boom 3i is the fact that it's designed to float upright in water that allows for continuous music playback, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't know who really wants to just stick the speaker in water, you know, in your pool. I guess if that's something you have to do, it is a cool feature. It's not something I'll be using personally, but it is a nice to have. And then lastly, we also have the dual LED lights that are integrated into the passive radiators on either side of the Boom 3i. And on this version, we do get 10 unique lighting effects, and they all have customizable colors. Starry Sky is my personal favorite since it gives those like Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis type of vibes. Now, let's move over to the top of the speaker, and this is where we have the controls. So we have 8 buttons right along the top. We have the power, we have the Bluetooth, we have the volume down, we have the play pause, we have the volume up, we have the RGB light control, we have the PartyCast button, and the bass up. Now, play and pause, this one here is a multifunction button that also serves as track control with a double press to skip forward and a triple press to go backwards. And then the RGB button lets you cycle through all the 10 lighting presets. Pretty handy if you don't want to use the app to, control the lights. Now, overall, the buttons are very responsive and they have a nice tactile click, so you know when you've activated a command. So now let's move over to the connectivity. So the Boom 3i can easily be paired with both Android and iOS devices. The Boom 3i also features Bluetooth 5.3 with SBC and AAC as their connection codecs. Multi-point connectivity is available on this device as well for up to 2 devices. Now, when it comes to Bluetooth range, it's up to 100 feet or 30 meters in my testing. So if you're inside of a house, there could be multiple walls, the connection still stays very, very strong. So now let's talk about video lag or latency. So there is a little bit of latency, some slight lag in the sound from when you see people talking, you see their mouth moving and the actual sound that you hear coming out of the speaker. It is very, very minimal though. It's better than some of the other speakers that I've tested. So, but it is still something that is noticeable. So, especially when it comes to like mobile gaming. So if you do plan to do some sort of mobile gaming with this speaker, it's probably not going to be that great of an option for you. It's better than some of the others. And for casual games, you'll probably be fine. But if you're going to be doing stuff like Call of Duty Mobile, anything like that, you're probably not going to have that great of an experience, unfortunately. And sadly, there is no low latency gaming mode. So, it's not something I would expect on a speaker. Be cool to see, but it's just not available here. So I just wanted to make that very clear. Now, lastly, we also have the PartyCast 2.0 as well as TWS pairing. And TWS pairing mode lets you connect 2 of these speakers in a left-right channel configuration. PartyCast, on the other hand, will allow you to connect up to 100 of these speakers together. Bit overkill, but it is still a cool to have feature. So that's going to bring us over to the battery life of the Soundcore Boom 3i. And they are claiming up to 16 hours on a full charge, but that's going to vary based on volume level, LED lights, as well as EQ settings like bass up that use additional power. So that 16 hours is definitely a best case scenario. Now, in my own testing, I was able to squeeze about 9 hours and 54 minutes at 75% volume with bass up active as well as the LED lights going. So I was basically higher volume and bass up and my own EQ and with the LED lights. So I was really throwing a lot of features added at the same time, and that's what brought that battery life down. I'm sure that if I kept it at like 50% volume and I turned off like the bass up and all the LED lights and all that stuff, I'd probably be able to get closer to that 16-hour claim, but I wanted to keep the test as realistic as possible. Now, when it comes to charging the Boom 3i, we do have a USB-C port right around the back. Now that's going to bring us over to the Soundcore app. So the Boom 3i does get full Soundcore app support, and there are a lot of features in here. So first things first, you get the speaker battery bar, you get the power off button, and you get the settings. Then we have a volume slider right here. We also have the play pause button. Now below this, you have the bass up 2.0 toggle. Below that, we have the equalizer settings. So you do get the 4 EQ presets, which are signature, voice, treble boost, and balanced. Additionally, you also have the Custom Pro EQ, and that's your 9-band full band EQ for fine tuning if you really want to get in there and make those adjustments. Now, what you're looking at here is my own custom EQ preset. Feel free to pause it here if you want to try it for yourself, but more on EQ and sound quality a little bit later in this video. Now, backing out of here, we have the voice amplifier, and this kind of acts like a PA system. So you can record your voice and then loop it if you wish, and it'll play through the speaker, or you can actually use it to amplify your voice in real time. It's kind of cool. So kind of a cool feature. Not sure why it's here, but it is here. So I figured I would talk about it. Now below that, we have the sound effects menu. And the first one is going to be white noise. And in white noise, this is for like sleep or relaxation, that kind of thing. You have 5 preset options to help you relax. And then you have the DIY menu, which is 62 different sounds that you can mix and match to create your own personal blend. Each of which you can actually adjust the volume of each individual sound. It is pretty wild, but a lot of different options here. My personal favorite is a preset for the thunderstorm. I think it's Thunderstorm Haven. That one to me sounds the best personally. Now backing out of here, you have the emergency alarm. So this is basically if you ever get yourself into some sort of a emergency situation, maybe you slipped and fell down like a shallow cliff or into a creek bed or something where you can't get out and maybe people can't hear you, then you can turn on the siren, the whistle, or the emergency alert sound, and they get progressively louder up to max volume. And it also has a built-in timer as well, but this way people can hear you. They'll hear this alarming noise and hopefully come to your rescue. So it's kind of a cool feature to have. Now, lastly, we have the buzz clean, which I was really kind of intrigued by because I was like, what is buzz clean? But basically what it does is you use this mode to shake off dust and debris. And it basically is just playing a bass tone. So it's kind of vibrating the speaker to kind of clear out any debris that might be inside of the speaker. So kind of a cool feature. And that's going to move us over to the other menu, which is light. And that's your LED lighting. So here we have the brightness slider. You have the on and off toggle. You have your 10 lighting options, each of which can be color customized by clicking on the color icon in the top right corner. Now here we have the gear, and this is going to be your settings. So you have the speaker prompt tone toggle, clipboard permissions, button brightness, auto power off, update firmware, serial number, user manual, party cast, and then disconnect. So there is a lot in this app. Now, to be clear, and I've said this many times, you don't have to download the app to use the Soundcore Boom 3i. The app simply allows you to take full control over the sound quality and the lighting of this speaker. That's it. But there is still no requirement to use it unless you want to. Now that's going to bring us over to the sound and the volume of the speaker. So much like Soundcore's other speakers, the Boom 3i is delivering surprising bass and excellent volume in a small package. Now this time they're using a single 3.7-inch 40-watt elliptical woofer, along with one 10-watt tweeter, and then 2 passive radiators, one on each side, in order to maximize sound. With the bass up 2.0 enabled, the Boom 3i delivers a noticeable increase in low-end thump. Now the Boom 3i also gets pretty loud with a claimed 96 decibels of maximum volume. Now I can tell you right now, it can easily go higher than this with my own personal EQ and with louder music. One song that stood out in particular as being noticeably louder was Thunderstruck by AC/DC. This had us well into like 106, 107, 108 dB, depending on what part of the song. So this thing can definitely get very loud. So all that to say that the Boom 3i can easily provide tunes for your backyard barbecue, a beach day, maybe a picnic in the park, whatever you want to do. It could easily take care of that. Now, when it comes to the sound, with the EQ here, with the Soundcore signature EQ, you get strong bass response, but overall, the sound was a bit lackluster for my own personal taste. It sounded just like a bit muffled and a little bit distorted personally. Now, there was a firmware update that did address some of those distortions, so it is sounding a bit better, but still, that Soundcore signature EQ is very bass forward and it lacks clarity. So that was one of the main issues that I was having with it. But that's also why I ended up making my adjustments. But, and then secondly, there's also a lack of sub bass extension with the speaker, but that's to be expected from a smaller speaker with smaller drivers using less power. Now, that being said, it still digs deep, but you get much better bass out of the bigger brother Soundcore's own Boom 2. Now, a quick fix to address the sort of muffled sound of the signature EQ is to either try the treble boost EQ or the voice EQ presets. That'll kind of resolve that very, very quickly for you if you want to go that route. Personally, I'd recommend you try out the Pro EQ if you really want to get the best sound quality possible. This provided me with the best sound quality that I can get for the music that I personally enjoy with it. So feel free, I'm going to put my JEFE EQ right up here on the screen. Feel free to pause it here if you want to try this EQ with your own Boom 3i. So now let's go ahead and jump into some quick audio samples outdoors with the bass up on and off so you can hear the speaker for yourself. And I'll probably try the Soundcore signature as well as the JEFE EQ so you can hear the difference. So this would be a good time to go ahead and put on some headphones or some earbuds. All right, so here we have the outdoor sound test for the Soundcore Motion Boom 3i. All right, so let's go ahead and start right here. And we're gonna put this into the Soundcore signature. Right there, Soundcore signature. And that's where we'll start, so you can see. So we're in Soundcore signature. Let's go ahead and push play. So with that out of the way, personally, I'm enjoying the sound quality and bass response from the Boom 3i. Using my customized EQ, it has a rich, warm sound, but it's also more open and more airy as compared to what it comes with straight out of the box. So it's very pleasant to listen to a wide variety of music genres. So I listen to everything from like Boyz II Men to SZA, Rage Against the Machine to Larry June, Santana, Amy Winehouse, XG, etc. A ton of different music that I was trying out with a speaker. If you name it, I probably tested it with the speaker already. So overall, I'm truly impressed with the sound coming from a speaker that's this small. I mean, check this thing out. Look at this. It is not even that big, man. Now, if I had to give any constructive feedback to Soundcore over the speaker, first would be better default sound quality. So it shouldn't be up to the end user. Like it shouldn't be the end user's responsibility to open up the sound quality. If anything, the defaults should be a more balanced EQ, and then let users use the bass up feature to add more bass if they want. Up to them. And then if they really want to dial in, then they can go in the EQ and do, make their own adjustments if they wish. Secondly, improved battery life would be great. I know we have a small size speaker here, so there's only so much we can do, but it would be great for a speaker with this amount of power to have some longer battery life in it. I'm just saying. And then lastly, a 3.5mm port for analog playback. I think that's a must-have on pretty much any speaker. I know that some of the other speakers on the market that are this size don't have it either, but still, this could give it just that little bit more of a leg up, personally. So that's going to bring us over to the question that I asked at the beginning of this video, which is the Soundcore Boom 3i actually worth the full asking price of $129? So my answer is a little bit nuanced here, because it's actually yes and no. It both is and isn't worth it, but let me explain. So when compared to small speakers like the JBL Flip Series or the Sony Field 1, the Boom 3i is superior, and it's a superior value, especially when you get it at a nice discount. More about that discount in just a sec. On the other hand, while you do get a lot of additional features for the price, the Boom 3i is easily outmatched by the Soundcore Boom 2 for sound, for bass, and for overall volume. And yes, the Boom 2 is bigger, considerably bigger, but considering both are priced at MSRP of $129 and both of them see discounts often, the Boom 2 is the better choice if size is not a problem for you. And then truth be told, you can't go wrong with choosing either of the speakers. It really comes down to whether or not you need a tiny speaker that fits in your bag. If that is what you're looking for, if you are looking for something compact, then the Boom 3 is going to be the right choice for you. So if you are interested in checking out the Soundcore Boom 3i for yourself, check out the links that I'll leave for you in the video description. As of the making of this recording, Soundcore is running a special promo, dropping the price to $89.99 for the black speaker and $99.99 for the colored versions. Discount code and the details, all of that is going to be in the description. Now, for full disclosure, this video was sponsored by Soundcore, as I said at the beginning of this video. Despite this, they received no rights for script approval and were not allowed to see this video prior to it being published. They are watching this video at the same time that you are. As such, I'm still free to tell you how I truly feel about the speaker, whether good or bad. Now, I'm telling you all of this because I truly do believe in transparency and honesty with you as the viewer. As always, please be sure to watch multiple videos before you make your final purchase decision. If you're interested in watching a video about my personal favorite Soundcore speaker, check out my full video on the Soundcore Boom 2 that I'll leave right up here on the screen for you. With that said, my name is JEFE, and I'm out.